presented by Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play $5 with the promo code. Presented by Prize Picks once again. Welcome to Light Years. Oh, for those of you watching live, I apologize for the delay on my end here, but we're here. Warriors lost. I had to cry it out in the bathroom for 30, 40 minutes, but now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to get it going. Look, big picture, 12-4, Tommy. If I told you they'd start 12-4 over the summer, you'd be like, I'll fucking take it. What happened? But, always frustrating when you piss away a 17-point lead in this fashion. And I feel like, we're at that point where, like, I feel like I have a good handle on this team. There's a lot of positives, but there's also some obvious, like, negatives and things you want to upgrade. And just, kind of, we're almost a quarter of the way into the season. It's what you expect.
Absolutely. And first things first, I've had a couple beers today, so we're getting a little bit of a drink Tommy on the pod. So all the viewers beware. But it felt a little bit like last season where they just blow an easy lead. But what we really saw tonight was Steph and Draymond's age. Third game in 4 nights, and they just didn't have the juice in the fourth quarter. Steph is 36, Draymond's 34, 35, and they just didn't have enough left in the tank. And it's very representative of the issues of this team. Like we said, 12-4, still first place in the West. But the real issues with this team presented themselves tonight. And
isn't it kind of like a chicken or the egg thing? Like, you are correct. They looked at best C- compared to their abilities, and that might even be generous. On the flip side, it's like, yeah, this roster kind of depends on them playing at a higher level most nights of the week. I know they have a ton of depth, but they have a ton of depth in context of the two of them, not that can do stuff without the two of them in general. And tonight was one of those games. Man, I was texting you in the first quarter, and I was ready to just kill Wemby. I was overrated.
Oh my God.
Pulling up from 30 all game. Who do you think you are? Getting the post, like being like
old man
takes.
Old man takes yelling at
But then in the second half, it's like, man, the offense has a ways to go. I don't know about the shot selection all the time, but that dude impacts the game in a lot of ways. And Stephon Castle screams like a Warrior player to me. Like, I would
oh my God.
Love him. And those dudes made life hell for the Warriors offense. The Warriors, the Warriors lost this game for, you could say energy levels. Like, those guys were older, but like generally they just couldn't get anything going offensively in the second half.
Yeah. And, the thing, like the grain of salt, like the positive I'll take from it is the fact that what other rim protector is like Wemby? AD?
Sure.
Maybe. Like, that's the only other guy who's like Wemby. So Chet, like you're not Chet a little bit. I mean, Chet's there, but I can't like worry about how the offense looked tonight too much, just in the context of the game tonight, because Wemby he's that special of a rim protector. But like I said, at the same time, the lack of a second option really showed itself tonight, like big time. They didn't have anybody else who could generate anything.
And I think Wiggins was probably their best player tonight.
In 4 straight games.
And he's been pretty consistent all year. Basically A+ from him across the board. The defense has been consistent night to night. The offense has been about the best version of Wiggins you can expect. But and this isn't even a Wiggins insult. It's, when they needed to get offense going and the Spurs were keyed in on stopping Steph, I mean, he's not that guy. And he's the best chance at that guy of the guys they have on that roster, but mostly they just don't have that guy, which is kind of like, it's not a Wiggins comment, it's an overarching roster comment.
Yeah, if we're talking specifically about Wiggins, it's his handle. If Wiggins had like even a Brandon Ingram level handle, it would be a lot easier for this team. We'd have a real second option, but he just doesn't have that. And I can't even blame Wiggins for that. It's not on him. It's on the front office to like do the right things and get the right on the team.
I was thinking about it because guys like Wiggins are kind of like a fetish around the league, like Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. Who else can I think of who hits in that vein? Help me out here.
I mean, those are perfect examples.
Yeah,
Two.
okay. We'll stop it right there. I don't need to go deeper.
Yeah.
But like those type of guys are like, and you saw what they got traded for. You know, Mikal Bridges, 5 first-round picks. And I get it. Good contract, everyday player, fits into a closing lineup in the finals for any team in the league. There's not a team in the league that if they had Mikal Bridges on their roster, be like, you know what? Not a good matchup for this lineup. We're going to bench him here, you know? So it's like there's a lot of value in that. And I would argue the best version of Wiggins is better than both those guys. You might argue those guys B- version is better than the B- version of Wiggins, but the best version of Wiggins is undoubtedly better than guys like OG and Mikal Bridges to date. None of them have done what he did in the 2022 finals.
Yeah, absolutely.
And where I'm going with this, though, more importantly, is, those guys aren't asked also to be a second option. They aren't, because they have the same, I don't want to say flaws, but like there's a reason they're 15 to 18 point per game guys and not Paul George averaging 25. Well, 2 years ago, Paul George might not be that guy anymore, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like where they're like, because they don't have the handle, they don't have the self-creation ability. They play in the flow of the offense. If the ball catches them in the right spots, they might score 30. But if they have to create their own shot, it might be a rough night. That's not who they are in general. And all that's to say, you get against a team with a guy like Wemby and Castle, who's an incredibly impressive defender for a rookie. And Steph looks a little old on a night like tonight. And then you're just looking down the list and you're like, yeah, it'd have been nice to have an Ingram. It'd have been nice to have a Zach LaVine. It'd been nice to have some of these guys who, have other flaws relative to the Warriors roster. But one of those flaws that they don't have is self-creation.
Yeah, what they're asking Wiggins to do right now with this roster is unfair to Wiggins. Because if you put him in a third or fourth option spot, he's fantastic. We've seen it. He'll go get 16 points, 17 rebounds in a game 4 in Boston. He'll go score 25 in a game 5 in Golden State. But they don't have another guy who can actually dribble and pass outside of Steph. And it hurts the team. And like I don't want to get too negative with everything right now, but 12-4, first in the West, all that stuff. But at the same time, it's just like tonight was so frustrating because like that was such a winnable game. And they blew it not because of like anything that Kerr did or like the players necessarily did.
Fire Kerr though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get him out of here. And you know what I really appreciate about Steve? He's kind of made this season happen for Wiggins, like he really has, because he was all preseason, all training camp. Like Wiggs is back. And it's came to fruition, but at the same time, they need to do something.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, so the way I'm looking at it is like a disappointing loss, but do I think they're going to lose Monday against the Nets? Probably not. I think they're actually in a good spot to keep chugging along and holding pace. Is that like, maybe they're not the 1 seed, maybe they are, but like holding pace in that like top 4 first round advantage in the West. And it's kind of on the back burner of, all right, we're going to get to the deadline. They lost Melton for the year. We already thought they needed to address this when they had Melton. Like it's the noise is just going to get louder when we get to January and February and everything. And so It is what it is. We keep moving. Before we keep moving, tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get on real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible for all. You just pick more or less on 2 players for a shot to win up to 100x your cash. Look, Tommy and I are playing every night, having a good time with it. Tonight was an obvious bet the under on the Warrior older guys, 3 and 4 nights, back to back, that sort of stuff. I couldn't bring myself to do it because I refused to bet the under on Steph, just out of loyalty and out of principle. But if I was Machiavellian and I wanted some money, I would have done it. So, some of you guys who have less feelings and emotions than me, get in there, make a little money. Just get it done. And the cool thing we got going right now is, look, sign up with the promo code LightYears, deposit $5, and they give you $50 instantly. Like, literally, it's as simple as put $5 in, get 50. Even if you don't want to play all the time, that is a deal upon deal. Prize Picks, run your game. Download the app today. Use the code LightYears. Get that $50 instantly when you play $5.
It would feel sacrilegious to bet the under on Steph.
I'm like so okay with having no morals with any other player, but with Steph, I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it, you know? So
yeah,
it is what it is. Everyone's got a line. Everyone's got a line.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a line, you got to respect it. Secondly, let me tell you guys about Body Spec. Ready to kickstart your fitness jersey? Whether you're an athlete, a fitness enthusiast, or getting back into shape, Body Spec has you covered. For less than the price of a haircut, you can get a DEXA scan, the world's most accurate body composition scan. What's a DEXA scan? A DEXA scan is a highly accurate method for measuring various aspects of your body's composition. So most obvious is body fat percentage. We're all curious about what that is. We all like watch a sports. They're like, oh, 6'2", 250 pounds, 5% body fat. I'm like, that doesn't seem humanly possible. But obviously my next thought is, I'm curious what my body fat is. So you can get that with a DEXA scan. Bone density, figure out how you're doing on that level. Lean muscle mass, always important. Visceral fat, the fat around your organs. These things have traditionally not been available for the average Joe. And if you wanted to get them, it's like $200, $300, $500. Body Spec, $45 with the promo code LightYears45. So go to bodyspec.com, set up an account, and use LightYears45 at the checkout, and you will get a DEXA scan for $45. It's basically a copay to get a medical test and get your measurements for your fitness journey. Same test the Warriors do, same test the Lakers do, same test the Clippers do, same test the Kings do. I'm just running through California teams right now. You know, it's all over the place. Every pro sports team, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, maybe arena football, all of them do this. And it's available to you for just $45. So, you know, link in the bio, get it done. So, like, you know, look, one take for the Clipper from this game is second option. The second take is all that strength and numbers stuff looks kind of shitty right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. It would feel better if Podz, Moses Moody, really Podz is kind of the bigger one right now. He feels like the elephant in the room, but like Moody was pretty terrible. And down the line, like, it's not like they're getting huge impact from those guys either. You're on mute.
My bad, guys. This night feels like a huge microcosm of the entire two timelines plan, where you're relying on these young guys to make stuff happen, and they're just not ready. You know, I said it a couple podcasts ago, like, what is Moses Moody? What does he really do at this point in his career? And Podz has just been awful. Like, he's just been terrible. We need him to figure it out. And if he doesn't figure it out, then, I mean, -14 tonight. When have we ever seen -14 from Podz?
Just the number of 0 for 3, 0 for 1, 0 point. Like, I'm not expecting him to score like Steph, but I am expecting him to provide something on offense. And like, it's so mental when you watch him at this point, like, not willing to look at the basket. Like, it's bad.
He's scared to shoot the ball right now. So scared. Like, it's almost like watching, I don't know, some kid in Little League ball who literally every time he gets the ball and he's wide open, he's afraid to shoot. That's what Podz is right now. And, you know, I hope he turns it around, because this team really needs him to turn it around. And if he doesn't, then there's going to have to be like some hard decisions to make. Like, Joe Lacob's calling him an all-star before the year. And that's, I mean, he might be doing that for a different team at this point, because that's how bad he's been.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, how do you get him out of this funk? Because I don't believe, like, the chat is saying Ben Simmons. I'm like, I don't think Ben Simmons likes basketball, which I think is the fundamental issue with Ben Simmons. It's not the same thing. Also, Podz if Podz had Ben Simmons' physical measurements, he could probably get away with a shooting slump far easier because he's not like he's not playing hard or doing other things. But with that said, he does not. He's not 6'9". He's 6'4", maybe, and he definitely is not an above the rim athlete and a physical force. He needs to hit shots. He needs to hit shots to be an effective offensive player. I mean, Draymond had those comments midweek about like, just calm down and play your game. Steve has been pretty encouraging. Like, he just needs to be aggressive, shoot the ball. I don't really know what else they can do with him at this point, because it's not like, it doesn't feel like it's a situation where they're in his head telling him like, don't shoot bad shots. It feels like they're encouraging him to shoot the ball because that's the only way he gets out of it. And I don't really know what the answer is other than he has to figure out a way to let go and shoot the ball a little more.
Number one, I would say play him 30 minutes when they play the Nets on Monday. Like that's number one. Just let him play. And number two, Draymond's comments were very funny because I think the way that like Steph and Draymond look at Podz and the way the organization looks at Podz are very divergent. You know, like I think, I think the front office is looking at Podz as like, oh, he's a future all-star. He's this, he's that. Steph and Draymond see him as like a glue guy. They see him as like not Andre Iguodala, but like that type of player, like a Josh Hart type of player. And so it's a funny, like, it's like I said, it's a funny.
I see it. Yeah, I think that's 50% right, but I think it's actually the way I would describe it, and I don't think this is a real contradiction, is Joe Lacob is such a I'm going to try to speak it into existence guy. And it's worked more often than not for the Warriors, but then you have the fails of like the Wiseman, like, we're not trading it for anyone but Giannis or Embiid. To be fair,
I mean, Joe was trying to now, but Joe was trying to pump his trade value in the summer. You know, he's trying to like,
or just like pump him up, just trying to hype.
Yeah,
just like in general, like we think you're so good, like you're so good, you're good, that sort of thing. And to your point, Steph and Draymond are actual players with the mentality of, I like you, just keep working. Don't overthink it. Don't get into your own head. Don't think about the future. Just like grind every day. That's kind of the way I see them. Where they're just like, just play your role, and as shit will come to you as it comes to you, for lack of a better way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody is like, including Podz himself, they're just very frustrated right now because everybody was expecting way more out of him this year, and it's been the worst case scenario. I think
I was definitely expecting better than 18% from three. That's for sure.
Mean, he literally cannot make a shot right now. I've honestly never seen anything like it from an NBA player. So you just got to, like I said, play him 30 minutes if you can on Monday, and just hope that he figures it out. Because if he doesn't, like, things could get really bad for him and the team very, very quickly.
And it's like, it's kind of a rough schedule. I mean, Brooklyn, in theory, is not a rough game, but Thunder on Wednesday, okay, it's a game. Suns on Saturday, it's a real game. Nuggets following, real game. Rockets following, real game. Timberwolves, like, there's not a lot of opportunities to just give him, to your point, which I think you're correct, which is like, he just needs extended run to get out of his own fucking head a little bit, right? Like, just like play through it, miss a couple shots, realize the world's not going to fall apart if you hit the side of the backboard once or airball something here and there. Hopefully those are not what happens. So hit the rim, please, Podz. But like, just play through it a little bit. And like, I don't know if the opportunity's coming, which like is kind of scary, to your point. Now that I'm looking at this, it could get really ugly.
The December schedule is insane. I said it last podcast. There is currently one team under 500 who are playing in December. So there are no other opportunities besides this Nets game for Podz to get right, because it's going to get really serious really quick. So play him 25, 30 minutes on Monday and hope he figures it out. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. It's time to do a Manscaped read, huh?
Yeah, let's get in there.
With the holidays creeping up faster than your aunt's fruitcake recipe, I've got something way better to share with you.
Shout out Manscaped. They're already showing up
Oh,
as an SEO for me.
the best. If you want to look sharp for all those festive gatherings and maybe finally win best groomed at the family dinner, check out the latest masterpiece from Manscaped, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. Trust me, it's like Rudolph for your face, guiding you to a smooth, irritation-free shave. Head over to manscaped.com and join the over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using the code LIGHTYEARS for 20% off plus free shipping. So I went out for a little bit today, was watching some football games, and I got a comment from somebody that I was not clean shaven. And if I would have used the Chairman Pro, I don't think that comment would have happened because the Chairman Pro is the absolute best. And if you want even more precision, on the right side of the bracket, there's a precision lock. When you lock it in, the blade sits firm so you can achieve an even more precise shave.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. The Chairman Pro isn't just for daily shaves either. It's powerful enough to tackle 5 days growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up for a few days. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off plus the free shipping when you use the code LIGHTYEARS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus the free shipping when you use the code LIGHTYEARS at manscaped.com. All right, Mint Mobile. With big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were going to pay magically skyrockets. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about the gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. Say bye-bye to all your overpriced wireless bills, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages, just like those random data plans where you're texting too much, using the internet too much, and it just goes over. It goes way over. So use your own phone with Mint Mobile and bring your phone number along, plus any existing contacts. To get this new custom offer and your new 3-month plan using premium wireless for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/lightyears. That's mintmobile.com/lightyears. Cut your bill to $15 a month using mintmobile.com/lightyears. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on a 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on an unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for details.
To answer the question in the chat, Chase Center or Intuit Dome, Chase 11 out of 10 times. It's not even a question. It's not a question in my mind. The Intuit Dome, yes, it's not a question.
So I was talking to Ryan Harabi about this. He was at the game on Monday as well. And he says, you're wrong about the Intuit Dome. He loved it.
He's a troll, man. I know him. I know.
I also think he's very Gen Z.
I think he liked the fact that everything was about like lights and anything but basketball. So yes, I thought it was so artificial. It drove me insane. I think I said this on the last one, but the wall reminded me of an MLS game where it was a bunch of hipsters who wanted to be Premier League fans, like doing fake songs and chants. I'm like, bro, just stop it. You can't name 3 Clippers.
Yeah, it's like the Seattle Sounders. If anybody's
exactly.
Seattle Sounders,
it's like every MLS team. Some are just louder than others with it. Yep. So I did not like it. Chase also like has some work to do in terms of creating. To me, the big thing is the fan engagement, the atmosphere. Like Chase has better food. I think Chase is easier to walk and navigate, but ultimately those things don't matter. It's like, do I feel like I'm at something that's important when the game starts?
Yeah. I actually haven't been to Chase yet. I've never been to Chase.
Ooh.
Yeah. I need to get there and see again. Have to.
The food is, I will say the food is like A+ for an arena. So
yeah. Have you been to SoFi yet?
I have multiple times. It sucks food wise, but everything else about it's like the best football stadium I've ever been to. So yeah,
so it's the food's better at Chase.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take to say SoFi's food sucks.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
But you can't okay. So basketball tickets are more expensive than football tickets, and there's a little more expectation that there's going to be good food at a basketball game because it's during dinner time. People eat there. Football, it's like kind of like you just want the basics. Like I want a hot dog, I want nachos, and obviously I want a lot of beer. but like,
Sure.
I'm not like looking for like tacos and stuff like that, right? So, that's my opinion. SoFi,
Yeah.
I would say, was the best football experience I've had, but like it's not because of the food. But I
Yeah.
also wouldn't say the food is worse than Levi's or Allegiant or anything like that. So
Yeah. I mean, the best thing about any sporting event is going outside and getting a bacon wrapped hot dog
yeah,
every time. It's the best. And like
I
I'll
will
pay for it
say
in the morning.
that was enjoyable at Intuit. You had the bacon wrap dogs, made me feel like walking kind of that stretch of Englewood did remind me of going to like Oracle and that sort of thing. I was like, okay, I'm into this. And then
Yeah.
I get into it and it's fucking Ballmer's light show. They have light up controllers on every seat. And I was just like, I don't need this, man. I don't need this
That's
at
wild.
all. This is too much. I'm not into like I want it to feel like I hate the Lakers, but I always have been a fan of the dimmed lights on the court, making it feel important type of thing. And I don't understand why more teams don't do it other than cost. So
Yeah. I mean, the Lakers presented as theater, and I think MSG does the same thing. Like it's about the event, it's about the game. And most other teams are like they're playing catch up in a way. Like
yeah, and so that
and
was
you
my entire feeling with the Intuit Dome was it felt like because we all know the Clippers history and Ballmer can't change that. Like
yeah.
and I don't want to say I feel bad, but like it is kind of like you're thinking about it, you're like, all right, well, he can't change the fact that the Clippers don't have a history and that sort of thing. So it's like trying to create an illusion, and I think it kind of makes it worse.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think most NBA teams are stuck in that position though, where there's just not enough fan interest. So you're trying to generate it. And
Yeah.
then it's just like you're chasing your own tail at that point.
On the someone asked what about the screen? The screen was nice, but I actually don't think it's a nicer screen than Chase. It was negligible to me. Maybe my eyes aren't good enough to tell the difference. They both have the screen the whole way around. To be fair, it is very nice. I'm not gonna say anything wrong with that. Like it's a nice touch.
Do we want to do a minute
Spurs.
on Stephon Castle?
Sure.
I fucking love that dude. He's so good. Like he is exactly what I want out of every Warriors role player. Great passer, honestly. Incredible defender, long, anticipates well. He just
Isn't he everything Kuminga and Moody aren't? And I don't mean this as an insult, but like he was a lottery pick in a bad draft. They were lottery picks in a okay draft.
I would say
He
a good
has
draft.
he has similar physical measurements and tools to those guys. I think he's more athletic than Moody, but probably not as athletic as Kuminga.
Yeah.
But like he has the physical. He's not getting out of the lottery of 6'6", like that kind of athleticism and frame, right? But the difference between him and those guys is he has a feel for the game.
An incredible feel for the game. And like you can I think he had against OKC at one point. He was 8 assists, 0 turnovers. Incredible lob passer, can see every kick out pass. And it's there were like questions on Twitter and all the NBA draft spaces when they took him 5 overall. It's like, oh, can he like play the point guard? Can he handle the ball well enough? All
Can
this
he
stuff.
shoot?
But yeah, can he shoot? But when you have that level of feel and athleticism that he has, the shooting almost doesn't matter. And the shot looks nice enough. He will figure it out. Like I really think he'll figure that part out. But yeah, he's just, I could not be higher on him. They got Wemby, obviously, and now they have Castle. And if they get one more guy to go with those two, they are set up for the next 15 years. They keep doing it, man.
I would just say, you see this in the draft all the time, but give me a guy with enough physical profile and the correct mental attributes, and I'll bet on them. Like there's a world where Stephon Castle never figures his shot out. And even if that happens, he's still kind of a living, like, I don't want to call him Iguodala because that's like very high praise, but like he's still going to be an impactful guy because he's too smart and just quite frankly, smart 6'6" wings who can guard 4 positions just can play on any team an eternity, right? Like that's your worst case scenario with a guy like that, right? Whereas like betting on guys who have the physical profile and but like show no mental aptitude for the job. Like it could go in any direction. Maybe the shot comes around, maybe it doesn't. Maybe, you know, it's like the ability to read the game is, I don't want to say underrated, but like so many times we lie to ourselves because of a guy's physical tools and like they show it to you just enough highlights for
Yeah,
you
I
to
mean,
lie. Ugh.
I would say the ability to read the game is absolutely underrated. Like
Yeah.
in almost every sport, like having the feel to like do the right thing when the situation pops up.
Shout
And
out
like
Jared McCain.
shout out Jared McCain. I mean, look, the first Steph clone. But at the very worst, I think Castle ends up being Alex Caruso. And like that's his floor at this point after 15 games of his rookie year. And I just wish there was a different guy drafting the players during 2020 and 2021
Yeah.
because I think Franz Wagner would be on this team at the very worst, and maybe LaMelo.
Franz looks like LaMelo, I got why they didn't take him, even though I
Sure.
disagree with it in context. Like the real move is they should trade down for Halliburton, who is currently really struggling. But like
Yeah.
he just feels such like a warrior guy. But Franz was the more obvious one where they just
Even Franz's floor as just like a great passer, really good positional defender, can shoot it well enough and knows how to move without the ball. Just a perfect fit for Kerr's system.
yeah.
And that's, I mean, they obviously went another direction. And this is getting too depressing.
Before we get out of here, I want to ask you
Yeah.
this. This is a different topic, but the Spurs are not going anywhere this year,
Yeah.
most likely. They want to. They kind of want to play for whatever pick they can get, right? Is there anyone on the Spurs? Look, they're not trading Wemby. Unfortunately, we can't get the point guard back. Is there anyone on the Spurs you think is a sneaky Warriors trade target? I know a couple of them didn't play tonight, so
Yeah. I mean, I'd say Keldon and
because
Devin Vassell.
they've been shopping.
Yeah.
Keldon more so, yeah.
For years. And I know Steve's likes Keldon because he was on an Olympic team or like some international USA team. Pop really likes him. Steve really likes him. I mean, Keldon's not a perfect fit, but I would take him if like a trade came down to that. But I mean, Vassell is like a perfect wing for what they're trying to do. And Vassell has, I think, more shot creation than most people realize. Like he can go get it off the bounce. He can make a mid-range. He can hit a step back three. Not a great passer, but he can do enough offensively where it's like, okay, it changes the dynamic of the team a little bit.
I would love the concept of Vassell and Wiggins together. Like, yes, neither of them are pure second options, but they're both maybe a shade better than the third option. So and defensively, like that's perfect. Tell me why you like Keldon on the Warriors, because Keldon's kind of a controversial player.
Honestly, I mean, the first thing is just he's not scared. Like he will try to go get a bucket, and we don't have enough guys who want to do that. It's basically Steph and Kuminga and Wiggins some of the time. But Keldon will he's not scared to shoot the ball at all. And he can actually attack the rim. So like the Warriors need guys who can attack the rim. And I mean, Keldon had a dunk over, who was it the other night against OKC? It was over either Jalen or SGA and threw it down over the top of them. And just having a guy who can do that, who can get to the rim like that, would be such a difference maker for this Warriors team.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate everyone. We'll be out of here after this.
Thanks, everybody.
Later.